So as you know, I'm in Sydney. I'm in Sydney speaking right now about what we do. And what we do is train down these babies. A lot of interest from people right here about what we do, how we do it, even our own horses. People asking me. I had a guy. I was at lunch with a bunch of people, and somebody had actually asked about brush cut. What about brush cut? And seems like a nice colt. And they have Heston Blue Chip as breeding horses in Australia. So I told them, I said, you got a lot of sires up here. You got a lot of sires out here. You got a lot of sires out here right now. But I'm going to tell you what. Keep an eye on Heston Blue Chip. Tough horse when he raced. Nice horse when he raced. And makes nice horses, I believe, in both brush cut and bottle of red. Both looked very, very good today. So we'll get right into it. Ale Sun went today, but Ale Sun did not go today. She was a little bit sick. Not much we can do about that. Very happy that we've instituted a rule. We've instituted a rule where on training day our grooms take the temperature of all our horses. Just want to make sure they're all healthy. Last thing you want to do is go out there and train a horse. Maybe they picked away and ate their supper or their breakfast. You didn't notice it. Weren't that comfortable. You're in a rush trying to get the horses ready. You may miss that a horse might have an elevated temperature. 101, 101.1. Not the end of the world. You could train. But what's going to happen after they train? Are they going to be 100%? Are they going to bounce right back? Are they going to eat their supper? Are they going to sulk? You don't want to be training sick horses anymore, and you want to race sick horses. And I'm very happy that they took a very close eye and a very close look at our horses in Ale Sun and the next horse, Anteros. Neither of them went. And they were the only two scratch today. The first two horses alphabetically on our list didn't make it out today. That's okay. They'll make it out next week. Arctic Force looked good to me today. Danny told me he thought he went really well after today, moving well. You're going to see him actually start to get a lot better as we get into some better weather, hopefully, and we get those corks off him. Maybe even get those flip-flops off him. I think that Arctic Force has the ability to be the next horse that everybody's talking about, and I could see today all the shares of brush cut were all gone, or bottle of red all gone. That's what starts to happen this time of year when they train good. Everybody wants them. So I think the next horse people are going to have to keep an eye on is Arctic Force. Beach Boutique certainly looked like $1 million. To Craig out there that has a lot of shares in Beach Boutique and her sister. The one thing we always said was I liked her sister dancing on my own, but she always had that kind of lackadaisical way about her. Not this filly. Beach Boutique's all business and looked good doing it today. Beach Bum BB, she was in pretty tough today. Moved her a couple of times to the front, got in a spot where she was just going to have to outpace some really strong fillies and couldn't, but finished up really, really well. Very happy with her. Bend Over. Ha! Put old Ben in a little tougher today. Thought I'd give him a little more fat to chew on today, and he made a little break, but recovered quickly and showed some pop on the end of the mile. Really happy with Bend Over. Bottle of Red, probably one of the best horses of the day. The trip she went, the way Jason drove her, just perfect all around. He drove her good. She finished up good. Showed her tenacity and her power. Very happy with Bottle of Red. Brush Cut. Both the filly and colt back to back. Brush Cut turned everybody's head today. That powerful move he had on the end of the 1.5-mile training session was impressive. And you can't say it wasn't. It was. And Brush Cut looked really, really good. Thing I like about this colt is he was starting to get grabby at the start of the year, and I said, oh no, king of the ball, oh my God, he's going to start going crazy. And we put a snake cord on his mouth right away. Boom. It was perfect. Now he was 2 fingers today, sat, and you could see as Mario moved him over, just as he started to shuffle him to the right, you could see him switch gears and duck his head, and immediately gone. Very impressive training mile today from Brush Cut. Cabernet looked good. Again, James was bottled up. It's tough when they're going to let them scat like that in the last eighth coming out of the turn on a half-mile track, or as they call them over here, the 800-meter tracks, the sprint tracks. It's tough to make up ground. And Cabernet would simply have to outpace those 3 fillies, to beat them. And when they're going all they can right now, that's tough. Just can't do it. So, went well, though. Cabernet went well. Canadian Titan, as I said, really turned my head. Quietly turning a lot of heads right now is this filly. if you've watched her from the start, how she struggled when we got her to how she is now, whew, she's come a long, long way and is really starting to look good. Capistrano, even Jason had said after, I just put her in a spot where I asked her to pace too fast, and she just wasn't ready to go that much then, and made a break halfway down the lane. Just simply a speed break. Just outpaced herself. Not a big deal. She'll be fine. Cheating Dixie. I know she made a break today, but if you watch when she was trotting, she looked great. This is a filly that we had given some time off and really shut her down to let her knees kind of heal up, cool down. And she just rolled off on Ricky. But man, oh man, she looked tremendous. Looked tremendous today. Classic Con looked good. Jason liked the way he moved. How can't you? The horse has been doing great things for the past 6, 7, 8 weeks or even more. Classy Will. This guy always flies under the radar, and Mark Isabel goes to him every week. One of these days, I'm going to sit up and let him rock. And there's lots of time to do that, but I think you're going to see what Classy Will is all about when that happens. Just a nice colt, well-bred, and I think Classy Will could be a nice horse, but we will see as we get a little bit further down the line with him. Compass Rose DC. Now, Compass Rose DC, I saw her the last 3 training sets. I said, geez, her attitude is really suspect. She's fast enough, but her attitude, she just seems like she had that cranky way about her on the track. Jason said, no, much better today. So I can almost assure you it took place. She was really slipping and getting frustrated, a little sour on that deep footing that we've been going on the last 6, 7 weeks. Today it was hard and flat. She liked it, and she showed it. She trotted well and looked great. Crazy Mission, I think he was just asked for a little more. He's getting a little greedy, just asking for a little more than he was willing to give. Again, he's another one that was up a tiny bit in class, so to speak, in with these horses, and was sitting fourth coming out of the turn. Just had to sit on him. Maybe Disco got a little bit. Mark Isbell got a little bit anxious, and he made a little bit of a break. So, but all in all, Crazy Mission's been looking great. Don't believe me, just watch. I think he was one of the horses that didn't. Now, James had messaged me after the 10th set and said, Anthony, the track's bad. Can't go. I said, okay. I messaged Curtis. Sets are over. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get that last one. We're not going to be able to get that last one done. Curtis packed up, and then Mario called an audible and said, no, we went this far. Get them out on the track. And James said, yeah, you're probably right. We should go. And I guess I was probably asleep at that point. But James went. James and Mario and all them went up and trained the last set. Said they went well. Curtis said, Anthony, I was packing up. I look up. There's a set going. He said, I'd already packed my drone up. I'm really sorry. It's no big deal. It's just and you wouldn't have seen much anyway. The track was really deep at that point. They were literally just putting work in. And Mario was happy. James was happy. Everybody that went was happy. I think Mario had who? Mario had what the hell was his name? The Trotter. Hometown Boys. He had Hometown Boys, and it was a mix in there, and he said everybody went well, so I was happy. He should be happy. Everybody's happy. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch was a horse in that set, and again, he went well also. Effusive looked great. He was up in the very, very top bunch. Danny moved him 2 or 3 times, finished up well. I was very, very happy with Effusive today. Emerald Miss, I told you in the outset, keep your eye on this filly. I don't think there's any shares floating around out there, so this isn't a sales pitch by any means. I saw this from Bourbon and Barley when she was 2. Make the odd break, get out of gear, showed tremendous speed when you put her in gear. And I saw that move James put on them when he finished up with her today. She was awesome. Very, very impressed with Emerald Miss. Enjoying My Life. Again, you know what? I'm just going to go with her and Sebastian Ray the next 2 times. And the reason I need to, people from England own those 2 horses outright. And it's not that Gislin did anything wrong with Enjoying My Life today. No dig on him. But it's been a while since I went with her. And I think it's about time I cut her loose. Once again, we'll put her in that open crew and cut her loose a little bit and see what she can do. I already know what she can do. She's one of our best horses. Enduring Strength looked much, much better today as a gelding. Exactly what I wanted from from Enduring Strength is what I saw. A much more focused, mature horse. Exactly. I didn't think it would happen this quick. I thought it would take maybe another 3-4 weeks. Very happy with what I've seen from Enduring Strength. Excellent Nation. I can see people buying shares up. You saw it too. The big move he's put on them, the speed he's shown. This is a nice colt. My only concern is I see him ducking his head and being a little ornery on the track. And I know I told people we're just not going to geld horses, but we are going to geld him if he continues to act like that. I need to have a horse focused. Now, he's not really doing anything wrong except wanting to get at them and not listening as good as he should. Is that grounds to geld him yet? No, it's not. But I'm watching him real close. He is fast, and I don't want to make any mistakes. We waited to geld See You in Tuscany after his 2-year-old year. Did that work? Real Willie, we waited. Did that work? I'm not waiting with this colt. If he keeps showing signs. Here's the thing. If they don't act the way they're supposed to on the track and they don't listen, they can't learn anything. And every time we go out there, the horses that are learning, horse like Brushcock didn't look like he was learning. He was, little by little. Now look at him. So you can say you got lots of time. Well, you're wrong. We don't have lots of time because we don't have time just to waste on continuing to try and teach horses that don't want to learn when they could. So Excellent Nation, be very careful, my friend. You're on the list potentially. Fox Valley Shazam struggled a little bit with the hard track today. Not a big deal. This is a big, big filly. We made a shoe and change. She was good her last trip. She'll be fine if you can get her to the front and let her float along. But if you got to grab her or move her quick into a turn, gonna have a problem. She's just gonna have to get used to that transition in the turns. You might say, well, they have Grand River and Flamborough and everywhere else to race this year. Yeah, they also have Georgian Kawartha and Mohawk and Woodbine. So I'm not really that concerned with the stuff that goes on outside of there. She'll be what she can be. We're not going to make any dramatic shoeing changes or putting hobbles on or anything else. This filly, just leave her alone. She's doing just fine right now. Film Fanatic. Now that horse has changed. His name's changed to Giddy Up Max. He didn't go today. He was castrated. I was trying to think, how did he do today? He didn't go today. He was castrated. And he'll go next time. Forged in Fire, Sylvain made a specific point to tell me how much he liked that little trotter in the 5th or 6th set. I had to pull up the sets. I'm like, Forged in Fire? Yeah, the Yankee Glide colt? I said, yeah. He really, really liked him. Little rolling in the straightaways when you're throttling him back. He said, I went to start him up by the wire, and I just left him alone. I said, yeah, if you had put the bit in his mouth and roar at him, he'll take off. I said, he's just a nice colt, and he really, really liked him. French Twist, again, did okay. Looked all right. No complaints here. I know Danny thought he was okay, so Danny's happy, Anthony's happy. French Twist was okay. Frontier Cruise, you noticed, just as he went to put him in gear and he went to swat him with the whip, he broke his hobble. First broken equipment of the year. I don't know if he broke the hobble hanger or the hobble. I couldn't tell because it happened really quick. But the hobble came down either way. He's lucky he didn't fall down. That could have been dirty. And Frontier Cruise was a very good professional about it. Very happy with what I've seen from him. And although I didn't get to see him accelerate today because he made a break, very happy with what I've seen with him thus far. Fusspot, Mario said, she's a little rough. She made a break last week on Disco, made a break on you. I said, he just doesn't know her. I said, you can't gap with her. You got to get her up in it. Put her on a helmet when you move her. Let her pace. And it's all right. He was very quiet with her today. She did her work. She finished up well. That was a big last half for that group. Very happy with what I saw from Fusspot. Globetrotting kind of did her work today. Kind of put her in a bad spot. And she was fine. She stayed right at it and did her work. So you can't ask for much more than that. Gold Watch. I'd said he needs a bar shoe put on a window bar. He's got a pus pocket that blew out. Now it's turned into a little bit of a quarter crack. It's very manageable. He's going to need his hobbles in also a little bit. 2 holes tighter on the hobbles. Window bar put on that right front foot. There'll be no problems for the big Gold Watch moving forward. Harness AM looked good. She looks good every week. Harness AM looks tremendous. Looked good again today. Havana, Unana, James drove her perfect. Made a little skip, just a shutter step in the first turn, and I don't really know what that was about, but did make it, and she recovered, won the set quite handily. Very, very happy with what I've seen from her. Feels like it's crooked now. I'll play it alone. Or no, Hometown Boys. You didn't get to see Hometown Boys, and I apologize. James told me they weren't going, and then by the time James and Mario decided they were going, I was probably asleep, and Curtis had packed up the drone. They did go a very slow set, did everything right by all accounts. I'll Play It Alone looked good also. I'll Play It Alone looked really, really good. Just making a little note. I'll Play It Alone looked good. Made a few little shuffle steps. Nothing major. As soon as we get the corks off this colt, there'll be no issues with him. And he was pacing pretty hard, and they were really rocking on the end of that set. Inland Beach. I told everybody earlier in the year how good she was. We put flip-flops on her. She wasn't quite as effective in the snow with those flip-flops. And a lot of horses weren't. Not a big deal. She looked some good today without them on, though, didn't she? Horse that actually looked good today, Jailhouse Master. James liked him last week. Went with him today. We made a few little equipment changes. He went with him today, and he liked them. Looked good. Very, very happy. I always cheer for the horses that want to do their work, and nobody wants to work as hard as Jailhouse Master. Johan made that little skip afterwards. Really, really fast colt. Really fast colt. No issues, I don't think, to speak of. It's just going to be a matter of some very subtle shoeing adjustments. The reason being, I think he's a little worked up on the track. You could see him, I said you could see him lathered up and sweated up. To me, a horse that's wound up, tight, a little sharp, they'll do that sometimes. I don't want to geld this horse, I really don't, but I will. I can't tell people I'll geld the horses and then play favorites. If he's going to act up, I gelded White Tiger last year, and he would not have been White Tiger without us doing that. I don't want to geld. We don't want to geld this colt, but I will if it comes down to it. And I think we're going to try and work with him and make sure he stays very comfortable on the track. That's going to take some work. Good news is we have enough time. I said a minute ago, there's not a lot of time. There is time. I mean, this horse has done everything great. You take him to Mohawk, there'll be no problem. I want him to trot good here. So that's Johan, Just For Me and You. Looked tremendous today. One of the top horses from today was Just For Me and You. She looked awesome. James drove her right, had her trotting really hard on the end of it. Really, really happy with her. Knockdown Dragout continues to look great every week. Libero Hanover looked great again today. Charging through the inside on the end of it, just really quietly. This is a Cantab Hall, so he has every reason to be a good horse. Well bred, and I fully expect he'll be just fine. McPherson Thunder starts back on Monday. It healed up really. I gotta turn this alerts off here. Turn the alerts off. Gotcha. So McPherson Thunder healed up really, really well. Looks good. He'll start back Monday morning. Marzank Hanover went well also. A little bit in the left line. She's done that from time to time. A little lackluster on the end of it, but not the end of the world. They're going to have their bad weeks, and if that's a bad week, she'll be just fine. Master Treaty, he was in the last set. I didn't really ask how Master Treaty went. I assume he went fine. What else do we got? McNugget, again, one of the ones in the last set. Mario said she went good. Now he went with the trotter. I don't know who went with McNugget. Maybe it was James, because James is supposed to be down on McNugget. He said that McNugget went well. Miss Brampton Beast, we talked about her at the outset, looked fantastic today. Sylvain really liked her. Pretty hard not to like this filly. You don't like this filly, you just don't like horses, because she very rarely does anything wrong. Miss Mischief Maker had the day off. She starts back Monday morning full time. She was jogging lightly last week. She had a bruise in this foot. She's back full time on Monday morning. Muscle Chrome was jogged lightly last week. Somebody asked me, hey, where's Muscle Chrome? She was a little bumpy. You saw it in her last video. A little bumpy. Her knees were bothering her. Stopped with her. Blistered her knees. Wait until the blister come out. Started jogging her. She jogged light all last week. She trained very light once, I believe. She's going to be starting to train harder next week, and then again the next drone session. Nancy Allison, going to get her checked out. I don't think there's anything wrong with Nancy. She's just going to take a lot of work, and I know it's frustrating, and I apologize, but it is just going to take a lot of work with Nancy. Nancy is the most stubborn horse in the barn. Hands down. Hooves down. No doubt. Just going to take a lot of work, but she'll get there. She can clearly see she's got a ton of speed. So Nancy Allison, Need Your Opinion, was in the last set again. Didn't get a chance to see her go. She's been going great for the last few weeks. Really happy with her. Olympic Hopeful, Jason said, was a little bit choppy today, but First day with a hard track. I'm pretty sure the filly's feet were just that transition. She looked so good in the snow 2 weeks ago, a week ago, or 2 sets ago, 1 set ago, and then 2 sets ago. Has looked great, but today a little choppy in the turns. I'm pretty sure her feet were just stinging her a bit. Overdue Mission was really, really good today also. Very happy with Overdue Mission. Sure, she made a break after the wire. Relax. I'll call a spade a spade. She didn't run in the mile. She looked good and then made a break afterwards. Very happy with what this filly has done. Very proud to see her train the way she did when I went with her 2 weeks ago. Very impressive. And then today looked good again. Path of Totality, I talked about her from the start. This filly I said was a twin of Miss Mischief Maker. Keep your eye on her. I really thought it would take longer. She looked awesome today. Steve moved her at will, and she was just so good. Very impressive filly, Path of Totality. Pine Creek, again, she was in the last set. Didn't get to see her go. Didn't get an update on her, but she's been going good as of late, and I've been very happy with her. Really Blue Chip. Beat them all today. No, Knockdown Drago did not beat Really Blue Chip Marco. Really Blue Chip beat her. And they were flying on the end of it. It wasn't like Sylvain was putting her to the whip or asking her for more. They finished up really, really strong. And I think Really Blue Chip Chips just nipped her at the wire. But really, really impressive, both of them. Wow. They were our best fillies today. Now, I might have said, geez, this one looked great and that one looked great. These were our best two fillies today. Johan was coming to them and made a break. And they beat him fair and square. What else do we got? Rockin' Out Loud was in the last set. By all accounts, went good. Rooney Blue Chip. Here's one of the horses of the two that are on the list was Rooney Blue Chip, the other one to get checked out. Just want to see if he's okay. Made a little break last week and did not look comfortable today. Didn't look lame, didn't look sore, but wasn't comfortable. You saw him almost run coming out of one turn. He caught himself halfway down the stretch and did okay, and then made a break after that. Now, I didn't ask Sylvain about him. I'll catch up with him probably tomorrow. Ask him if he was on a line or not. And if he was, then we're definitely going to check it out. If he was not on a line, maybe a little shoeing adjustment. That transition from that snow and ice that we've been training in the last up to 2 months to the firm dirt track, quite a difference for some of these horses. And difficult. The next horse you're going to see also really had a tough time transitioning. Roser and Valiant just had that splint crowd and then that hard track. I figured when I saw him come on the track, starting out he was a little sore right front. Then he got out of it. Then he looked like he'd be fine. And then when they came out of the last turn, the second turn into the last stretch, he rolled off stride. So coming out of the turns into the stretch, right front splint was bothering him. Has been. That's just going to take a little time. Not a big deal. Rose Run Versatile, she didn't look that good today or yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to talk to James about her. We're clearly running in. Gonna need a little help equipment-wise. A few more little shoeing adjustments. She'll be fine. This is where she's come to a hurdle where she's learning to go fast. Need to build some confidence on her. I'm going to start going with her as soon as I get home, see if we can get her under control quickly. Sebastian Ray, I'm going to try and go with him next time. I know this colt's got a ton of speed. Just couldn't put it all together today. Mario said they were just going too slow up front. They were going slower than training speed. He just got a little wound up, threw his head, and rolled off. It was perfect afterwards. And I know he was. I saw him. I'll probably go with him. Sebastian Yu was castrated last week. Missed today. He starts back Monday morning, full-time, full training regimen. Sometimes things happen. Made a couple of breaks today. He's starting to look like a big, powerful colt, this colt. He's going to put it all together. And we haven't, if we have to, we'll put the hobbles on him, but I don't think he'll need them. He's just getting really, really strong. Makes the odd mistake, not a big deal. This is a big colt on a half-mile track. Keep in mind, today's track, totally different surface from what these horses are used to going. Spend That Money looked good. She's looked good for the past 3 weeks and looked really, really impressive today also. Spirit of Dio made a little break. I'm going to have to go with this filly. She looked tremendous 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, she looked pretty good, made a break at the wire. Then today, she made a break coming out of the last turn. A few little changes need to be made with her, but clearly, she's in with the best of the best and has looked great the last month. Very impressed overall with her. Sunshine and Shade finished up strong today in the grouping he was in. I believe James went with him. He looked really, really good, but has looked good and has a ton of talent. I think we can all agree Sunshine and Shade. Very, very nice horse. Susie K looked okay today. A little bumpy. Think she made a little break in one spot, but looked okay afterwards. She's going to struggle on a track like this also. Stands off a little bit, gets to her knees a little bit. Not a big deal. She hasn't really been getting to her knees lately, but She was a little bumpy in the first turn. Steve held her together. No, she didn't run at all. She finished up right at the wire with the leaders. Might even have won the set, actually. Steve did a good job keeping her together in the first turn. Then she was better in the second. Third turn, she was fine. And then so on and so on. Finished up well. Very, very happy with Susie K. Time Dazzle at Trafalgar looked fantastic. Sylvain went with her. Keep your eye on Trafalgar and Capistrano. I've been telling you all about Capistrano. Keep your eye on Trafalgar. This is Buckingham's sister, and she looked awesome today. Time Dazzle made one of the rarest breaks I've seen all year. Don't think this filly has run, maybe once or twice at most. Today she made a break on Danny. Not sure why. Pretty easy to chalk it up to track. You might hear me say oh, here we go again with the track. Keep in mind, when you go from that snow and that ice and getting a hold of that to a firm, bare track, it is quite a transition. Some horses don't make it as easy, and I don't think Time Dazzle did today. Certainly Time Kazam did not. I got to go with this colt for a couple of weeks. He's shown spurts where Jason went with him the first time with the hobbles on. Looked great. Then we took the flip-flops off him. Made a break today. Looked terrible last week. No real issues with him. Still a little bit overweight, the tub. We're going to work on him. When I get back, he's going to start doing some work. We're going to get Time Kazam back in line in short order. Yours, if you want it, rare break today, the training mile of track. Threw himself a little bit jogging around sometimes, but for the most part has been great. Finished up well after that little break, and I'm sure he will be just fine next week. Utopian finished back a little bit. Danny said, got a little rolly in places. They were really pacing hard on the end of it. I didn't want to put him on the run. Okay, I see. Maybe pulls hobbles up a little bit, but Utopian has been great. I'm going to cut him loose coming up soon too and really turn him loose. He's been at our farm for an adequate time to go a pretty decent mile, and that will probably be as soon as I get home. Watch Av, James did a great job with him today. Looked really, really good. Just run for one step coming out of the turn. This is a giant horse that has trouble transitioning in and out of the turns. That will happen as the corks come off, his knees cool down, he starts to solidify and be a bigger, stronger colt. I think what you're going to see is a very, very positive final outcome with Watch Av. The entire package of Watch Av, nice horse, really nice horse, and I think you're going to see that in the coming weeks. I told you to watch out for Capistrano and Trafalgar. Sorry, something just flashed on the screen. I told you to watch out for Capistrano and Trafalgar. Definitely put Watch Av on your watch list. See how I did that? Even though the next horse is watch list and he's scratched out now because he's gone, put Watch Av on your horses to watch list. This is a nice colt. He's watching colt. Most of them that I've seen, the other ones are kind of small. This guy's a giant colt. Wiggle Delight kind of looked so-so today. I'm going to tell you something right now. Wiggle Delight, probably one of the best horses on the property. When James went with her 3 weeks ago, she looked unbelievable. Mario went with her, unbelievable. Make absolutely no mistake, one of the most talented horses on the property. Just kind of looked blah today. She'll bounce back. Willpower Fashion looked great. Danny said he was trotting good. Still a little fat. Got to get that chub off him. You saw in the last turn of the 1.5-mile train trip, Danny was at him a bit, and those other two horses beat him. That shouldn't be happening. This horse too beautiful to have that happen. We're going to start training him a little harder, get some of the last little bit of chub off him, and put some more muscle on our boy Willpower Fashion. Sunshine, Zeb Sunshine was the #1 horse from the other day. I think he had a little trouble with that track today, transitioning. Did make a break in one spot. Finished up well and looked good after that. No concerns here. Those things will happen and have happened. Zeb Sunshine was the best looking horse on the track last week when I was there, and I'm sure he'll bounce back great next week. We did it all. Finished 75 horses in 29 minutes. That's hard to do. It's impressive. Anyway, that's it from Australia. It's been great here. I'm going to bring you another video from Australia next Saturday. I'll be leaving next Monday. I will be in Canada next Tuesday at 4:20, and we will get the train back moving. A lot of horses coming back, getting ready to qualify. Jason's and Harry's and Kevin's. A lot of good things going on. Again, I'm going to be talking to Mark tomorrow, Mark Weaver, about potentially buying a horse, and I'll be reaching out to you soon about that. That's it. That's all. That's all I got for you from Australia. I'm getting tired again. I'm going to turn in for the night. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Talk to you very, very soon.